Hello and welcome, it's Jill here again. Thank you for signing up for the Think and Grow Rich program. I'm going to share with you some of the gems in here today. We're going to get right into the material and we're going to get really started so that you can get exactly what you need. So I've got Think and Grow Rich in my hand and I'm going to read a couple of things out of here for you to make the biggest difference for you today. In this book, there are a number of people that he talks about. So he talks about Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he invented electricity, and he also invented the movie, I think it was a basic movie camera actually. So I wouldn't actually be able to talk to you like this if he hadn't actually invented that. So not only do we know about the electricity, but I didn't know about the movie. He talked about Edwin C. Barnes, who wanted to go and work with Thomas Edison. Now Edwin C. Barnes decided that he was going to work for Edison, not just as an employee, but actually someone who made a difference to him. So he got on a train, not a plane in those days, a train. It was a freight train, so he didn't even go passenger. He didn't even have enough money to get back home if he wasn't successful. So he burnt all his bridges to go and work for Edison. He was so determined to work for Edison that Edison said he showed up looking like a tramp. He'd been in this freight train for 3 days, probably wearing the same clothes that he'd started out in. He looked like a tramp. But Edison said there was something in the twinkle of his eye that told him that this man was determined. And so he gave him a chance. Do you know, when we decide what we want to do and we have that same determination, people give us a chance. It almost doesn't matter what we look like or what else we're doing. If we know what we want, if we made that decision, and that's why chapter 1 is decision in this book, then people pick that up and things start to work for us. Now, let's get back to that story. When he started working for Edison, he didn't go straight into where he wanted to work. He just had to work in one of the departments, one of the factory areas, and he was there for 6 months, and he still didn't give up. You see, in this day and age, I think we're so used to microwave results. We kind of want our result to show up straight away. So if it had been me showing up at Edison's doorstep, if Edison hadn't put me exactly where I wanted to, I don't know if I would have stayed around for 6 months. Maybe I would have. I'm not sure. Would you? Would you have stayed around for 6 months until you got the break that you were looking for? And even after that, he didn't get exactly what he looked for. So sometimes the results that we're looking for have got a delay period. There's a law of gestation. You know that babies take a while to be born. The human baby takes 9 months. Elephants, I think, take close to 2 years. A carrot seed may take 30 or 40 days. Everything has got its own gestation period. So when you set your goal, you don't know what the gestation period is for that goal. When you write down your goal of what you want, don't change the goal. You can always change the date. People underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years, but they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. So think about that. They overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. So what that tells me is that we get our hopes up that we're going to achieve huge things in the next 6 months. But then as we start working on it, we didn't realize that it was going to take maybe 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Last year, we got our passport as Australian citizens. Do you know that that's a goal I set 20 years ago? It took me 20 years to achieve that goal. I didn't know it was going to take 20 years. At the time, I wanted one immediately, but it took 20 years. Which of your goals have you achieved recently that you might have set 10 or 20 years ago? Some goals have longer gestation periods than others. So that's one of the thoughts that I'd like to leave with you. Another one of the thoughts is in chapter 2 on faith. And he's talking about faith as our belief in ourselves. So first of all, we need to have desire for something. We need to be clear on what we want. And I can help you with that if you need to. But first of all, we need to be clear on what we want. Then we need to have the faith. We need to believe that we're actually going to get that we want. Because if we don't believe that we're going to achieve it, then what's the point of even doing any work for it? So one of the ways that we need to look at how we can achieve that faith is to get the thoughts into our subconscious mind. He says here, repetition or affirmation of orders to your subconscious mind is the only method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. If that's got you wondering, go and read the whole chapter on faith and on desire, and you'll get the context around that. I deliberately put that in there because it's a little bit confusing and it's a little bit, hang on, what exactly does that mean? Because then you can go and read and get the answers for yourself. Napoleon Hill talks about the secret that exists in this book. And he said one part you're already in possession of, and the other part you will find when you're ready to see it. The other part is in this book. So keep reading the book. Read chapter 1 on desire. Read chapter 2 on faith. Obviously, you've already read the introduction and the author's preface, and there are great stories in there. Read those 3 chapters and write down some of the notes that come to you from that. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the chapters after that so that you can get some more insight into this book. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.